The 2012 CCHA Championship at Joe Louis Arena was filled with so many great, action-packed, dramatic moments. In the first semifinal game, the Western Michigan Broncos skated to a 6-2 win against the Miami Redhawks. The Broncos used a balanced attack and great special teams to advance to the championship game for the second straight year. Meanwhile, the upstart and playoff-tested Bowling Green Falcons faced 9-time CCHA tournament champion Michigan in the other semifinal. And the Falcons were flying high with a 2-0 lead on the Wolverines. But Michigan showed resolve and determination to battle back and force overtime. 2 overtimes, in fact, before Luke Moffitt jammed home the game winner early in overtime number 2. That set the stage for Saturday's title tilt between the Wolverines and Broncos. With a fever pitch at the Joe, the two teams put on an amazing championship game. The Broncos jumped out to a 3-0 lead, but again, Red Berenson's Wolverines battled back to draw to within 1 goal.
Oh, there it is! They cash in! Moffy snuck in there, and it's a one-shot game!
The tension was tight at the Joe, as Bronco captain Ian Slater could only watch after being ejected for a penalty. And with only 8 seconds remaining, the tension grew more and more as Slater was just hoping his teammates could hold on for the victory.
I was sick to my stomach, honestly. I think I almost puked a couple times. I think I maybe cried twice.
And they did not disappoint, earning a hard-fought 3-2 win, Western Michigan's first CCHA tournament title since 1986. The emotions were overflowing on the ice as Slater then got the Mason Cup and began a celebration with his teammates. A celebration that started on the ice and eventually poured into the Bronco locker room, where a very proud and well-deserving group of Western Michigan Broncos celebrated the 2012 CCHA tournament title.
Fight on for Western! Take a puck down the ice, score a goal! Onward for the Broncos! Push it back, make a save! Fight on for Western! Overall, we'll win! Fight, let it fight! Western win this game!
Yes, indeed, a very proud and well-deserving group of Western Michigan Broncos there inside their locker room. And we welcome you into this week's edition, week number 12 of CCHA Now, our championship edition. My name is Ben Holden. It's great to be with you. One young man we didn't touch on yet, who is the CCHA tournament MVP, and that's goaltender Frank Slabowski. Yes, he's known as the Big Slabowski, and he was certainly that for Western Michigan last weekend at Joe Louis Arena. He headlines the all-CCHA tournament team, as we'll show you that. And for the Miami Redhawks, Riley Smith a part of it. Greg Squires, a great weekend with 2 goals in the semifinals. Luke Moffitt had the double overtime winner on Friday. Danny DeKaiser, a solid all-around weekend. Lee Maffey from Michigan had a big power play goal for the Wolverines on Saturday. And then Frank Slabowski, the goaltender, and he is just the 4th freshman goaltender in the history of the CCHA tournament to be named the MVP. He joins former Bronco Bill Horn, who did it in '86, Ryan Miller from Michigan State in 2000, and Jeff Lurg in 2006. There's a look at this year's CCHA all-tournament team. Well, certainly congratulations to all those young men, and again, to all 4 teams that took part in a great 2012 CCHA tournament. Well, coming up this week, Friday, the games begin in the 2012 NCAA tournament. All eyes certainly on the CCHA teams, folks. We've got 5 teams that will represent the conference in the NCAA tournament. We'll start out east, where Michigan State will be the number 4 seed. They will take on Union. That game on Friday at 3 o'clock. Miami, the number 2 seed in that bracket, so you could have Michigan State and Miami squaring off in the regional final on Saturday at 6:30. On to the Midwest Regional. 2 more CCHA teams there. Ferris State, the regular season champs, they're the number 2 seed. They'll take on George Gwozdecki and the Denver Pioneers. Michigan, the number 1 seed out there, they'll take on the Cornell Big Red, a 9 o'clock start on Friday night. The regional championship, 9 o'clock on Saturday night. To the West Regional, 2 of the hottest teams in all of college hockey, the CCHA tournament champion Western Michigan Broncos and the Fighting Sioux of North Dakota, a 1:30 start time on Saturday. Also in that regional, big name power, Minnesota and BU, they square off at 5 o'clock with a regional championship coming up on Sunday at 5:30. So that's a look at the CCHA in the upcoming NCAA tournament. And let's not forget the Northeast Regional. You have Boston College as the #1 seed there, the overall #1 seed in the tournament, and they'll have to go through potentially the defending national champions, the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth. Let's get you on now to our top 10 plays of the week, folks. We've got a great assortment, a lot of different types of plays this week. Some goaltenders have made the cut, so let's get right to it and start you with number 10 this week. And for that, well, we go to the first overtime of Friday's semifinal game. Ted Pletch off the goalpost, but Greg Patterson there to glove it and knock it away and keep it out of harm's way. It kept Michigan alive in a 2-2 game. Andrew Hammond, this young man had quite a playoff run, an outstanding way to cap off the season. He makes 2 great stops here, but the second one on his back to get Phil DiGiuseppe. Somehow, Andrew Hammond made that stop. That's our number 9 plays of the week. In at number 8, it's a mad scramble, and watch Sean Hunwick. 4 shots from Bowling Green coming at him. He gets 3 of them, and somehow, some way, Sean Hunwick slammed the door there on the Bowling Green Falcons. In at number 7, the always well-dressed J.J. Crew undressing Connor Knapp for a shorthanded goal on Friday. Made it 2-0 late in the first. Beautiful finish and great special teams from the Broncos. And in at number 6, cool hand Luke Moffitt. He was calm, cool, and collected as he found the puck in the paint, jammed it in, 1:04 into double overtime in Friday's semifinal 3-2 win over Bowling Green. And we'll get you plays 5 through 1 a little bit later here on this edition of CCHA Now. Time now to take a look at this week's USCHO.com poll, and 7 CCHA teams well represented. We'll start near the top in the Michigan Wolverines, number 2 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. They're number 2 in this week's poll, up 1 from last week. Miami stays the same at number 7. Ferris State at number 9. They'll be tangling with Denver, as we mentioned, on Friday in Green Bay. Western Michigan, good jump for the Broncos. They're up 2 to number 12. Michigan State, they're at 15 this week. And Notre Dame drops a spot down to number 19. Northern Michigan, not ranked last week, but they get in the final poll of the season due to the Wildcats of Northern Michigan. Well, a lot of games going on, of course, this weekend in the NCAA tournament with our 5 CCHA teams well represented. A lot of those games on ESPN UHD and some available on ESPN3.com. Just go to ESPN3.com and it'll take you to where you need to go, and you can watch the CCHA teams battle it out trying to get to Tampa and the Frozen Four. Here's the schedule for you on Friday. Michigan State, they'll be on ESPNU at 3 o'clock. Then it'll be Miami at 6:30 on ESPNU. In the Midwest, Ferris State and Denver at 5:30 on Friday. And then Michigan and Cornell, the primetime showdown, 9 o'clock ESPNU HD. The regional championship there, 9 o'clock on Saturday on ESPNU HD as well. Michigan, well, they're not the only team from this state in the tournament. You got Western Michigan out in the West taking on North Dakota, 1:30. That game available streaming online at ESPN3.com. And the regional championship out West, 5:30 on Sunday on ESPNU HD. You can get all your favorite team gear right in one place. Just head over to the CCHAshop.com to pick up gear from your favorite team, including official Western Michigan Broncos CCHA Championship locker room hats and T-shirts and much, much more. That's the CCHAshop.com. It's the perfect spot to grab team gear right before this week's NCAA tournament. Well, it's that point in time in the show where we get to our top 5 plays of the week. So buckle in the seatbelt. Here we go for a great ride, our top 5 plays of the week. In at number 5 this week, this one early in the second period in the semifinals, Mark Rodriguez of Bowling Green, a top shelf snipe. Beautiful goal from Rodriguez helped the Falcons get out to a 2-0 lead. In at number 4, Kevin Clare on Saturday. Middle of the third period, a shorthanded rush for him. Makes a couple of moves and then goes up top to make it a 2-1 Western Michigan lead there. In at number 3, Frank Slabowski. Late third period of the semifinals on Friday against Austin Zarnik. Absolutely robbed him, getting the outstretched right leg over there to make the stop. Did the big Slabowski. Number 2, Greg Squires, Western Michigan, 2-goal game on Friday against the Redhawks. Here he gets Connor Knapp down and flat out, and he goes up top for the power play goal to make it 3-1 in Western's 6-2 win. In at number 1, we give some love to Cody Riker, the senior, for the Miami Redhawks. Luke Witkowski up the left wing, finds Justin Kovacs but Cody Riker doing the splits, and he gets our #1 play of the week. Well, our shift has ended here on this week's edition of CCHA Now. Hope you enjoyed the show. We certainly enjoy bringing it to you and putting it together each and every week. Our staff does a tremendous job, and hats off to those guys as well for their efforts. You can follow us as always on ccha.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're all over the place. Impossible not to stay dialed into the CCHA. Enjoy the NCAA tournament games this weekend and root our teams, all 5 of them, on to victories in the opening round. Want to give some shout outs and some special thanks to our student ambassadors that helped us out so much this season right here on this show and on ccha.com. Those folks are Jeff Buckley from Alaska, Allison Schiffer from Bowling Green, Dominic Henning from Ferris State, Roxanne Morris from Lake Superior State, Carly Pilarski from Michigan, Brian Kuhn from Michigan State, Greg Herbert from Miami, Cody Boyer from Northern Michigan, Katie Maddie from Notre Dame, also in there Robert Youngs, and last but not least from Ohio State, Andrew Schwepfinger. Here's a look at some of their work from this past season, our student ambassadors. So long, everybody.